think about this for a second. You've got a rough diamond. It's ancient, it's real, and it's always been valuable. Then you've got a digital token. It's brand new, it's lightning fast, and it's incredibly liquid. I mean, these feel like two totally different universes, right? Well, today we're going to explore a new idea that's trying to build a bridge right between them. Let's see how it works.
So on one side of the ring, you have rough diamonds. Yeah, they've held their value for centuries, but let's be honest, you can't exactly use a diamond to buy your morning coffee. They are the textbook definition of an illiquid asset. And on the other side, you've got crypto. Super liquid for sure, but famous for its wild price swings. It's its classic tug-of-war between old world stability and new world speed. So, that gets you thinking, doesn't it? What if you didn't actually have to choose? What if you could somehow take that rock-solid stability of a physical thing and fuse it with the slick, seamless efficiency of a digital asset? And that, right there, is where this whole idea of bridging gems and blockchain comes into play. We're going to take a look at the tech behind something called the KimberLite token, which is aiming to connect these two very different worlds. To really get how it works, we need to break down a couple of key ideas first.
Okay, first up, tokenization. Honestly, you can think of it as a kind of magic trick for the digital age. It's just the process of taking the ownership rights of a real-world object, like a painting, a building, or in this case, a diamond, and turning them into a digital certificate, or a token, that lives on a blockchain. This is the foundation for everything else we're about to talk about. And that leads us straight to our next term, RWA, which just stands for real-world asset. This is the thing that's getting tokenized. The RWA is the actual physical diamond sitting in a vault somewhere, and its digital twin, the token, is what you can buy, sell, or trade online. So here's the crucial part. The token has value because it represents a real physical object. And this is the specific mission of the KimberLite token, according to their material. They're aiming to be a pioneer in this space, zeroing in on tokenizing rough, uncut diamonds. The whole idea is to blend that cutting-edge blockchain tech with, as they put it, the timeless value of uncut gems. Okay, so how does this actually work, in the real world? How does a rock that came out of the earth become a digital asset you can trade from your phone? Well, the process is actually surprisingly straightforward when you break it down. It really just boils down to a three-step process. First, the physical rough diamonds have to be sourced, they have to be verified, and then locked away securely in a vault. Then, digital tokens that represent those diamonds, they're called e-diamonds or even fractional e-carats, are created on the blockchain. And finally, these brand new digital assets get listed on a specialized platform, the Kimber Market, so they can be bought and sold. Now, here's what's so cool about this whole process. It's the end result. By turning a physical diamond into a digital token, you suddenly unlock its value. You're taking an asset that's traditionally been stuck, and you're giving it seamless 24/7 liquidity. The market for that diamond is no longer just a handful of specialized dealers. It's potentially anyone, anywhere, at any time.
Okay, so we've got the how, but what about the why? I mean, why would an investor, especially someone who's already in the crypto space, even be interested in something like this? What's the advantage? What's the edge?
Well, the first part of the answer is just sheer scale. This isn't some small niche market we're talking about. The project claims that tokenization gives investors a ticket into the rough diamond market, which they value at a staggering $101 billion. That's opening up a massive asset class that was previously off limits to most people.
And then there's the direct financial incentive. The model proposes this profit-sharing mechanism where 11.5% of profits are set aside for the people who hold the token. So it's not just about owning a piece of a diamond. There's also the potential for a direct return on top of that. So you can see how this all really starts to appeal to the crypto-savvy crowd. For them, this is all about diversification. It's a chance to get exposure to a stable, tangible asset to kind of hedge against that famous crypto market volatility. And of course, the mention of audited smart contracts is huge. That's a big nod to the security and transparency that experienced digital investors are always looking for. So let's zoom out and pull this all together. What's the grand vision here? It's really more than just a new way to trade an old commodity. It's about fundamentally changing how we think about value itself. It paints this picture of a future where that line between physical and digital ownership starts to get really blurry, where assets that were once only for the super wealthy could become accessible to pretty much everyone. This tagline from the project's own material, it kind of says it all. Welcome to a world fueled by e-diamonds. Now, that's not just some snappy marketing line, it's painting a picture of a whole new financial ecosystem, one where the value of physical stuff can flow as freely and as quickly as information does today. Imagine a world where all these tangible assets, diamonds, real estate, art, can power a more stable and open digital economy. That's the big idea.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating final thought, one that shows why this matters way beyond just diamonds. I mean, if you can tokenize a diamond, what's next? Fine art? Vintage cars? Rare bottles of wine? The possibilities are pretty much endless. This whole technology of turning physical, timeless assets into liquid digital tokens could be a massive shift in how we store, manage, and trade wealth. So, the real question is, what do you think is going to be the next real-world asset to get its own digital twin? And what's that going to mean for all of us?